Good afternoon, this is Angela with Creatively Done. Today I'm going to show the entire process of how I did my acrylic dipped eggs and try to get a little bit of the mess out of the way, but I can edit that out. Okay, so in a little cup I am going to take, I've stirred my paints. I have Laguna, I have white, I have gold, I have blue, and I have purple. A little bit of yellow too, just in case. And I'm going to be dipping these little, let's see, I think they're about an inch wide and maybe an inch and a half long, little wooden eggs. I've put them on paper clips, and then I'm going to dip them in paint, and then I'm going to hang them. You can see my little makeshift hanger over here. Hopefully I won't knock everything over. But again, I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. This is a little different than pouring over something, because when you pour over something, you tend to just keep pouring over and over and over again. Whereas here I'm going to make a puddle, and I'm going to start with some Laguna. Get this stir stick out of the way. I use clean, never been used before except for paint, specimen jars. Oh, my little gnome, my little happy gnome's right here. And I even today wore my little Creatively Done bracelet that I made with alphabet beads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit of paint on one side. It seems to be a little lumpy, but that shouldn't make too much difference. And I'm going to pour some white. And I'm going to pour some blue. You can see this. I'll keep it on camera. I'm going to pour some gold. Instead of using the white on the bottom, this time I'm going to use the aqua, because that mixed really nice. And now I'm going to put a little bit more blue. And what I'm trying to do is fill up the cup enough so I can dip the eggs in it and not have to move them around too much. So let's see how this works. You can see exactly how I'm doing it. The last time I did this, all I did was show me dipping it in there, and that kind of seems a little weird. This would be something that you would use for a flip cup if you were doing a flip cup. And I'm going to put a little bit of the Laguna right on top. Now you can see this cup is getting pretty full, so I'm going to set it down. Hopefully it's still on camera. It appears to be. Take my egg. The hardest part is putting them on here without messing everything else up. So what I'm going to do is, I guess I could add just a little bit of yellow, because that's always nice too. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to move my paints out of the way. I already got it all over my gloves, but that's what paper towels are for. I'll put a little bit of, I really should cover up the paints, but this shouldn't take that long. At least I hope it's not. If it does, just watch. And again, I'm really struggling to try to do an online presence. I'm not struggling. I love doing it. And I do the videos for me to learn. So I'm going to shake up this real quick. And as you can see, I upcycle every container. This was from some spices that I love, and I clean them out, and I reuse the containers. That way I'm not buying, I use paper towels that are not even paper towels. They're the ones for restaurants, and I try to reuse things that, well, you know what, I might just close these up, because I really don't need to spill paint all over the place now, do I? So I'll take 10 seconds extra. And here, most of the time, like I said, for doing something, I drill little holes in, it's the prep work that takes the most amount of time. Drilled little holes in the wooden eggs, inserted a little eyelet hook, or eye hook, I guess you could call it, and then I'll put them on silk cord that I use a slip knot, and I can show you one of those real quick because I have one finished right here. So this is basically what it'll be on. It has a little slip knot, and I have different colors for those. One more to go. Where's the lid for the purple? Where's the purple lid? Where did it go? I don't know where it is. And that's the one that'll get all, oh, there it is. Okay. And I have my handy dandy little torch, because there is silicone in these paints. Stiazinon purple, Sax gold, 2 blue. I believe that is this one. It's a folk art. I'm trying to use all my old paints. Hate to say it this way, but you know, stuff got really expensive when everybody decided to start doing crafts at home, and so I'm trying to use what I have. And I know I have a lid for the gold somewhere. I'm just going to set that out of the way. That'll take a, oh, here it is. Okay, good. Just trying to cover things up. And had some really expensive paints that well, to me they're expensive. Liquitex, and gotta tell you, most of it dried up before I ever got a chance to use it. I don't know if you could see that or not, but anyway. Okay, so our paint's been sitting for a few seconds. Let it settle. And now comes the fun part. This is what takes the least amount of time, but is truly the most amount of fun. So I take the egg. I'm going to keep everything in camera view, I hope. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure my gloves are on. And I'm going to dip down the center. Looks like a lot of paint, but it really should be just fine. And I'm not going to move it around too much. I'm just going to dip in, cover to the top of the egg, pull it up, let it drip off slowly. And it looks like the gold's going to be overpowering, but it's okay. And if I'm smart, I'll get one of these. I think this one might be a little wet, and I'm just going to make sure that it dips off the end. Set that down. And as you can see, there's egg number 1. Then I just hang it. Well, that's kind of yellow. So what I'm going to do is, these are supposed to be Easter colors. So what I'm going to do is just go through it, through it, through it, through it, and swirl it a little bit more. Because I'm not going to swirl it inside with the egg inside. So let's see how this comes out. If not, it's a cup of paint, and we spent a few minutes here doing it. Again, I'm going to dip in, pull it up. Oh, that looks pretty. It looks kind of swirled. If it turns out to be mostly purple, remember, I'm kind of doing Easter colors, so purple and gold and green, and hopefully I could get it in here and not let them stick together. So let me put a little more purple on the top and a little more blue. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if you want to, you could always pour over top of these, but get another one. And here we go. We're just going to keep going and pull it out quick. Let it drip off to the side maybe, so it's not quite so muddy. Maybe that's what I should do. I should use a second cup so I'm not putting that mud back in there. Let me grab one of those. Although that looks pretty nice. I save all my cups from pudding. We all know the little snack packs. And hopefully I'm not breaking any copyright rules there or whatever. And we recycle just about everything. But this time what I'm going to do is the runoff, I'm going to, maybe I'll rearrange that so it's closer to the where I'm going. I'm gonna dip it in there, cover it all the way up, and then let it drip off over in another cup so it's not, so that mud, if any, is not going in the cup where the true colors still are. If it only wants to have 3 on a thing, fine by me. I'll just do another batch. These don't take very long to dry, but there we go. Now I'm going to come over here. Actually, look at all the cells. That looks kind of nice. And this is what I'm saying. It's meant to just use paint. I have dozens and dozens of these little eggs. Long time ago, I bought a whole person's supplies, of art supplies, wooden pieces, and so on. And let me tell you something, they never go bad. I never have to worry about them spoiling. The paint, it doesn't dry out, and it's really, I've had fun with them. I'm going to do all kinds of stuff with these items. So little faces and millefiori and putting polymer clay on them. And let's see if we can get this to show a little bit more yellow, because I went right through the yellow. Like I said, it's just a nice color. And I have all kinds of colors of satin ribbons and satin cords that I can use. Get a little bit more of the Laguna. Although, let me see if I could pull it up from the bottom. So I'm going to push it in through the bottom, pull it up, and see what we end up with. There we go. Instead of putting that mud back in the same container. And see, here's the thing. The colors are going to change, but I'm only doing it once. When you pour over something, I have a tendency to keep pouring and pouring and pouring, and it doesn't really make any difference after a while. All you're doing is pouring paint out. So by doing it this way, it's as if I did a flip cup or whatever. But I think the colors come out nicer, and since it has silicone in it, it's going to have some of the little bubbles that it's just going to have a nice effect. It's this color that I really want to see more of, because it's more for Easter color. So I'm going to pour a little more on the top, because it does use it up, and dip, and up we come. See, what I'm doing actually, I think, is pushing the paint down to the bottom. But hey, just let it rest off, and it's going to drip on there. And oh, inside this is from salad that I made some little marks in it so it would hold the skewers. I have some pieces of wood as well. And the last time I did this, I tried to dip off the bottom. These will probably run off. The paint is not very thick at all. And like I said, I'm over here. I'm almost out of eggs already. The prep work is what takes the longest. So now what I'm going to do, if you can still see me doing this, I'm going to tilt this just a little so I could get to the side here. There we go. Oh, I didn't get all the way in. I'm double dipping. And like I said before, this is one time when double dipping is not a problem. Just make sure you get it at the very top if you do anything like this. Make sure you cover the entire piece, because if not, you have to paint it. And then that's when, oh, we borrowed a little bit of color from this one. That's okay though. That's okay. These are meant to be necklaces, but they can also be used for an Easter tree. I don't do an Easter tree, but I would wear a pendant. Dip it in, bring it back out, bring it over here to level off a little bit. Oh, that looks pretty. A lot of nice cells. That's what I was trying to get at before. And since, oh, got a little bit of paint there. And that one the paint will continue to roll off also. So that's another thing. And let me move my gnome out of the way so I don't break them again. Poor little thing. Okay, so this is basically what I do, and I'll pause the video and come back if I can figure out how to pause this without making it stop completely. Let me get up closer. But like I said, when you're doing stuff like this and you want to try something, before you know it, you're 15 minutes in. So I'm going to pause this. If I can figure out pause. There we go. There's pause. Let me pause. Okay, and as you can see, I've finished doing 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So I've done 2 dozen, and I still have paint. And what I'm going to do with the paint is I will probably pour it out onto the silicone mat that's underneath here. And make it into a skin. So I'm going to set this aside. I don't have anywhere else to hang them, or I would do more. If I do 5 across, they tend to stick to one another as they're doing in here anyway. So I've got as many as I could fit in here. And this is Angela with Creatively Done. This is what some of them look like when they're dry. This is what they look like. I really wish I could do these again in a shinier kind of thing. But that's all for today. So go out and get something creatively done. Use your old paints. Try this dipping method instead of just pouring. And like I said, if you could see on the little thing here, I will post pictures, of course, of the finished ones in my messy desk. But you'll see them vary from gold and purple to blue with white. You could pour a little more of this paint over top of them if you wanted to, but then it just does away with whatever you've done before. So be happy the first time. Let them sit like that. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Just a little old lady that's trying to record what she's doing and encourage other people to do it. So go out there and get something creatively done. Have a great day. Bye. See you next time. The little bracelet, creativelydone.com. And I'm stopping.